Welcome to our channel, Million Dollars Made Easy. On this channel, we love to run numbers for people. And basically what we do is just look at the actual historical returns for the S&P 500 for the last 100 years. We project ahead what similar returns might do for you in the future. And so the numbers we end up showing you are a possible range of what may happen in the future. Just three things I need from you: your beginning balance, your monthly contribution, and your desire to increase if you want some. I really like to run it for at least 20 years, 20 to 45 years. And also, I want to thank you for watching this channel. But in this case, an individual, he said he's 50 years old and he obviously only has 15 years till he's 65. He wants me to run the numbers for 15 years, which I'm hesitant to do. But here are his numbers. He said he has $1 million currently, and he can do 30,050. I'm just going to do 30,000, which would be 2,500 a month. And here's my issue with running it for such a short period of time. You don't know if you're going to run into a bad decade, a decade and a half, like the 1930s and part of 1940, where you had all these down years. Maybe 1960s, and then you end up with down 14, down 26, or you could have a down decade like the 2000s, and it came back great in the 20 teens. But here's what I mean by that. Let's go ahead and run the numbers. In the year 2000, if he if the returns going forward were like these returns, down 3, they call this a sequence of return risk. When the first few years of your withdrawal stage is problematic, that can be problematic in the withdrawal stage, but it's also problematic in the accumulation stage. Because here he's got $1 million already, and it's dropped down 11, down 22, so he's down to 697, even though he's adding 30,000 a year. Anyway, 15 years into this, which is what we're looking at, age 50, age 65, he'd have 2.732. Now, what if I pick a different 15-year period? Let's say 1995. Again, follow this blue box. 1995, 3,700,000. How about 1993? 5,311,000. What did we have in 2000? Half of that. So my problem is I don't know which numbers to run for people. If we go a little bit farther into it, where we start hitting this good decade, we maybe bypass these three and start hitting these good 15 years. Look what happens then. Like 2003, 5 million. 2004, almost 4 million. 2005, 4 million. If we get past 2008, even 2008 is 4.6 million. There's a down 37%. But look at 2009. Now we're up to 8 million. Which numbers do I run? Because he wants to know what he can expect to withdraw once he reaches retirement age and not run out of money. But here's my dilemma. Do I begin with a beginning balance of 2,700,000? If that be the case, probably withdraw. I didn't run these numbers ahead of time, but let's go ahead and run them. Let's see here. Again, do I run it at 2,700,000? I'm going to give him 3% COLA, and we're going to do a 70-30 split. So 70% stays in the S&P 500, 30% goes in the cash reserves. When the market's going down, the money comes out of there. That's what we usually do. But 10,000 a month, that'd be 4.44%. And then your money would last. The only time it wouldn't would be in 1929 and 1930. Why? Because they were such horrible years. If we just go to 1929, you'll see that. It started out with 2.7 million, and after 4 years, they're down to 676,000. Plus what's left in the cash reserve, you're down to $1 million. And it just doesn't last. Those are the only 2 years, 1929 and 1930. Because why? Because you're close to the 4% rule. But the problem with it is we also ran numbers over here in the savings where if you had a year like 2010, you'd have $6 million and 6 million. So I'd run it at $6 million. If I run it at $6 million, let's see what that would be. 6 million. And I'm just rounding it off. Again, the same scenario, 70-30 split with a 3% COLA starting out at 10,000 a month. But again, that's only 2%. So in actuality, if we go up to the 4% rule, you could double this. So let's go up to 20,000. Again, we're going to update this. Again, the only years you're going to run into problems are 1929 and 1930 because they were such devastating down years. But every other scenario, you're in great shape. So what do I run? Do I run the 2.7 million and tell him he can take out 10,000, or do I run the 6 million and tell him he can withdraw 20,000 a month? That's the problem that I have when I run it for short periods of time, because you just don't know which uh, decade's going to show up, whether it's going to be the 2000s or the 1990s. Again, we're talking about a decade and a half. That's why I like to run it for at least 3 decades. Because yeah, you can have a bad decade, but you hit a couple of good decades if you have 30 years. Have a bad decade, have a good decade, another good decade. That's why I hesitate to run numbers for less than like 30 years. But this individual wanted, obviously, if he's age 50, he only has 15 years. So anyway, I just wanted to run the numbers. That's what we do for people. If you want me to run numbers for you, just put the beginning balance, how much you want me to uh, save, and how much you want me to inflate that, and I'll go ahead and run the numbers for you. Please consider subscribing. Please share this channel with friends and family. Let them know I run numbers for them. We do all kinds of different scenarios. Uh, Please like the video, and thanks for watching.